everybody, welcome to Sundays with the Cherry on Top. I'm your host, Cherry. Today's first episode is going to be with Keith Josef Adkins. He is the new artistic director of the New Black Fest. I don't know why I said new, he's been there since the beginning, but anyway. This week is going to be his festival, and we're going to go inside, and he's going to tell us all about it.
No. I knew the answer was no. What are you gonna do? Nothing. You're not gonna be able to do anything. And there's gonna be a clash. Yeah. I mean, I can just feel it. I think the idea of sustainability, just thinking about how like my grandparents, my great grandparents, or our great great grandparents, and all those people, how they survived and endured all types of obstacle, like every single moment of their lives, while they were also trying to sustain some kind of normal life for themselves. Which I think makes the Black experience in this country very, very specific, yes. And people can't say it's like any other thing, yes. On the planet, yes. Right? Mm-hmm. And so, because we are descendants of people who have been removed from their motherland and brought to a place that was completely foreign, and then exploited physically, economically, it was complete exploitation. Yet those people, despite all that, still were able to endure, navigate, sustain.
See, that's where we come from, y'all. We weren't supposed to be here.
So the week is sort of inspired by this idea of what does Black sustainability look like right now, with all the things that are coming at us now that we don't have Obama in leadership anymore. For me, like, curating the week was trying to find voices and new works that were speaking to a certain new level of fearlessness.
Nice.
Like Afrofuturism, to like exploiting the classics, to like just straight down, like, James Anthony Tyler's piece, Artney Jackson's about, Black working class people in Nevada, and sort of like,
Vegas.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Represent Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Hey, mama. Okay.
Hey, mama, Cherry.
That's so great.
You know what I mean? And so, like, just finding voices that really are speaking to where we are as a people right now, with this particular, leadership.
Each night a different playwright?
Each night it's a different playwright. So we kick off Monday, April 3rd, which is tomorrow, with a panel called Black Sustainability. So we have an amazing group of panelists. Tracy McCullum, Khatam, Yvette Carnal, who is a very interesting thinker. She is not a Democrat, I will say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say she's a Republican, but she has a lot to say about the exploitation of Black people and how we need to be held accountable for some of our choices and who we choose to lead us. I mean, she's out of Atlanta.
You don't want to miss that.
You don't want to miss her at all, right?
Oh my gosh, okay.
Duarte Herodino, who works for the PBS NewsHour. He's an Afro-Latino. He's Dominican, half Puerto Rican, but he's also part of this new movement in the Latin community to identify as Black. Okay. Because for a long time, many of them did not.
Yes.
So he's part of that movement. It's like, I am a Black man, but my family's from the Caribbean, Spanish speaking, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he's on the panel. Dr. Lewis McCoy, Michelle Wilson from Broadway Sweat is moderating.
I'm gonna try to get her on the show, y'all.
Because she's a smart human being. Smart human being.
Very smart. She just joined Twitter too. Make sure you follow her.
Yes, please follow Michelle Wilson. And Dorian T. Warren is also on the panel. So that should be amazing. For the week, we have James Anthony Tyler with his piece Artney Jackson. Great piece about Nevada, which I just mentioned. Sangu Jikam is coming back. He's actually part of what we call our alum lab. So the alum lab means that playwrights who have been in the New Black Fest in the past with a certain work, we're bringing that playwright back and that same work. And letting seeing how it grow and helping them get to a new place, a new level of confidence in the storytelling. Have Gosi Anyawu. Yes, she has a great.
She'll be on the show too as well.
Oh yeah, she. That's.
You'll learn more about her.
I love her. It's a really, really interesting piece about sort of superhero and sort of fantasy and just fearless women warrior. I mean, it's just really, really.
You
gotta come to that. And Lisa Jessie Peterson has. She's written opera.
She does a lot of one woman.
So this piece is a one person piece, but it has two singers in it. It's about this young Black woman who's finding her fearlessness and sort of her power in imagination, having to use imagination to sustain herself in the craziness of the real. Again, sort of the theme of sustainability.
Oh Oh my gosh. And how did you get this as a home?
This is our third year at the Lark Play Development Center. 3 years ago, I was talking to John Eisner, who's the artistic director of the Lark, and he and I were just sort of like, how can we work together? You know, he said, it seems like you're really interested in new work. We're interested in new work. You're interested in development. We're interested in development. I was like, yeah. But at the same time, I'm also very much interested in making sure that authentic voices are nurtured.
Yes.
Because what happens in American theater often is that larger white institutions decide on certain playwrights of color, or even women, or even queer playwrights, and they only nurture or continue to nurture those particular people. And so there are a whole group of other people in the community and communities that are not being nurtured or who are not being given opportunities. And I want to be able to, not that I have anything against those who are getting opportunities, because I think that's amazing. I was one of those people at one point, but I also want to, my instinct and my impulse as a human being, as an artist, is always to help open doors for other people. I feel like, you know, if I have access and I have abundance, which is part of my meditation every morning, to share abundance.
Yes.
And so I want to make sure, I was telling John that I want to make sure that the playwrights that I nurture or help nurture and provide space for are playwrights who are not getting the same attention from other institutions.
Yeah.
So that everyone can have an equal playing field in developing new work and having a voice at the table. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he and I sort of agreed that that would be an important thing to do. We decided to sort of come together that first year and see how it could work. You know, they provide us space, we curate the talent and the new work. You know, it's been a great relationship for the last 3 years, and it's growing and growing. And so each year, like the first year was just a reading, I think it was like 1 day of rehearsal, then the second year was like 2 days of rehearsal, and now we're at 3 days of rehearsal. And my ultimate goal as far as the new Black Fest is actually to be a producing entity.
Nice. Yes.
This is like
We need
yes,
more of us there.
yeah. I mean, we have the National Black Theater, which is great. We have, you know, we have Billie Holiday, which is sort of like taking a new sort of shape and mission.
We need to add the new Black Fest.
Yes, and the new Black as well. I mean, I think we all can exist together and even support each other, which is my hope.
Which is the goal.
Yeah, so we have Hip Hop Theater Festival and High Arts and all that. But yeah, I want to be able to produce some of the work that I've been helping sort of nurture over the last 7 seasons.
I think that's
So
great. Yeah.
hopefully this time next year, there will be productions happening.
And we will be there behind the scenes.
I hope so.
Well, tell people where they can go to get tickets or to sign
quick.
up.
Just say that real quick. Say something real quick.
You.
Me? You want me to say something real quick?
Yeah, just
All right, just make sure. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just checking the little
Yeah,
like,
no, I
this is
love
good.
it,
Let
I
me make
love
sure.
it, I
Yeah.
love it, yeah.
All right. I think we're good. Can you say something?
Yeah, my name is Keith Josef Adkins.
Yeah. All right. We're all good.
I have so many things I want to say. But
Okay.
the first thing I want to say to you is, where can people go to get the tickets, and how can people? We're gonna edit this and put this up tonight.
Okay.
But where do people go? Can go get tickets? How do they find you?
Okay, so
Even if they can't make the festival, how do they find you to collaborate on future things? So if they want to submit something, or if they say, "Hey, I have this play, this great idea."
okay, yes. So you can find out about the festival going to our website, thenewblackfest.org.
Okay.
You can also go to the Lark Playwright Development Center's website. I think it's
Okay.
the lark.org. I believe, I'm not certain about
Just
that.
type in the Lark.
Yeah, just
see
type
what
in the
happens.
Lark Play Development Center. It'll
and then
take you
they
there.
can RSVP there if they see a night that they want to come to.
Right, yeah. I believe that we're pretty full for each night, and that happened actually as soon as we let people know so that same case last year. But the thing is, like, I'm the person that even if someone says it's sold out, I would show up anyway, and I always get in.
Okay.
So I think people should take that kind of mindset. Don't ever let sold out scare you away.
Yeah.
Like, still roll up. Like, you want to be in there, like, make sure
Roll
you get
up.
in there.
Like how you said that, roll
up. Like, I'm here. I'm rolled up. And so so do that because there's always seats that become available.
Yeah. And some people may not show, or due to whatever reason.
Exactly. We definitely want people to show up for our panel discussion on Black sustainability, which is happening tomorrow at 7 at the 52nd Street Project.
Oh, good to know.
On 52nd Street.
We don't want you guys showing up here.
Don't show up here. Go to 52nd Street Project on 10th Avenue. It's just 2 blocks away from 8th. Afterwards, we're going to have some wine at Artesia Wine Bar.
Okay, that's right across the street.
Right across the
I love
street.
that place. Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
right across
yeah.
the street. It's really chill. They're gonna be waiting for us. There's gonna be some ticking vouchers, drinking vouchers.
Nice. Okay. So this is like, as we all know, Sundays with the cherry on top is very informal, very laid back. So I'm just looking to see if I got all my questions out. I want to make sure.
This feels like It Is. Remember Like It Is with Gil Noble?
Oh my
On
gosh.
Sundays,
I mean,
those black talk shows with Gil
okay,
Noble.
my goal is to put this on every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Or on a Sunday.
Yes.
Twice a month or once a month.
I love Sunday talks.
See, so that's thank you.
I grew up with that. I grew up with like Gil Noble talking on Sunday. You know.
So, well, I think I asked him everything. So, well, I just want to say one thing that people don't know about you. What is it? Because I know you do a lot of genealogy. I want to throw that in there. The thing that people don't know about you is that you do a lot of genealogy work.
Yeah, I do a lot of genealogy.
So tell me a little bit before we sign off and say goodbye until the next time. How did you get into that, and why, and how does it tie into you artistically in a way that you didn't see coming?
Very good question. Yeah, I got into genealogy because, and I want to answer the second question, which I think is really interesting. My grandfather, my mother's father, my maternal grandfather, Clyde Grant Elder Sr., when I was a little kid, he would tell me his family's lineage, genealogy, almost as if he was a griot. Like he didn't have any documents, he didn't have any pictures or anything like that. It was just sort of like he would tell me like his great grandfather and his grandmother and what they did, and a man from Texas and a woman who's Africa. It was like all this stuff that he had that he just gave me. And I would mention it to my other first cousins, and they had no idea what I was talking about. So I was like, oh, he's just telling me this information, right? Don't know what it was that he thought that I would contain this information or retain it. So I grew up with this sense that there was something beyond me and even something beyond my grandparents. Even though I saw them as older people, I was like, there's something else beyond them. Like there's other people, you know what I mean? And they know them, right? Yeah. And so when my grandfather passed away and I was in my late teens, you know, I sort of contained and retained some of this information. I was sharing it with people, and they were like, how do you find that out? Who told you that? I was like, Grandpa told me that, right? And so someone told me that I could go to the Mormon Genealogical Library. This is many years later after that, and look up family information and documentation. So that's what I did. And the first thing I did was to look up all the people my grandfather had ever mentioned to me, right? I start finding them. I was like, oh my God, there's my grandfather's grandfather. His name was Alfred Calvin Elder, and he was the son of a white man. I mean, this is what my grandfather had told me, but I was seeing the documentation. And he was born in Galveston, Texas, and his mother was the daughter of an African woman, and his his job as an enslaved child was to sleep at his father's feet to keep him warm. Oh, wow. And so, but I saw these pictures, and I saw the birthplace, Texas, mother from Africa. Like I saw all that stuff, right? Father from Scotland, like all that was there. And all the other people that he mentioned, and Georgiana, the second wife of his grandfather, like all those people. And so then from there, I was interested in my grandmother's family, my mom's mom, and sort of researched her family. Her family went back to the 1600s, of free people of color. And I was like, what does that mean? Yeah. You know, and that makes more sense now why she behaved a certain way, and she didn't really talk about blackness except when it came to education and property ownership. Like my grandfather talked about blackness as far as culture. Mm-hmm. She talked about blackness as far as accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And so it all started making sense, like why and all that. And I wasn't thinking about my own creative fuel. It was just my own personal empowerment. Like it helped me walk with more pride to know that I knew of these things that happened, and I now have names and ages and dates and all that. But then other people started to ask me to do their own genealogy because I was always talking about my genealogy. So I don't even know, you and I talked maybe once or twice, but.
I remember you told me like that's like 2013, 2012.
Yeah.
That's one of my producers.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Come on in, just say hi. Just say hey real quick. Hey, okay.
Yeah. By the way, this guy fucking mentored me on my fucking, like that was Lee Street.
Wait, no, tell me what how's this full circle?
Oh, yeah.
Full circle. All right, I mean, I don't, hold, let me try to frame is. And,
okay, there you go, yes.
Hold up, I'm gonna like that. I don't even know if I can jump in like that. Nope, no, that makes it, no, that's, okay, all right, hold on.
Get in the
Let's
middle.
do this, yeah. I'm gonna get in the middle real quick.
This is the full circle moment.
Yeah, full circle. This guy actually back in then, 2013 was when Leaf Trees Forest went up, and even before then you were mentoring me on that. I remember that. I always like brag about you. I'm like, yo, he's the reason why I actually finished that play.
Oh wow.
Remember when I had an iPhone 4 and they kept like shutting off, and so it actually like remember it was one of the times you were doing dramaturgy work with me, and it cut off. And I remember like there's like back then they didn't have iMessage all.
Yeah.
So I literally had to sit there and wait for the phone to charge, and I was sitting on pins and needles. I was like, he thought I hung up on him. Oh. And like, right? I remember that shit. Yeah, I was sitting like
I remember that.
Yeah, all that. That was a
I remember.
crazy
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. And I remember because Carla Stillwell from the Impact
Carla
Theater from
Stillwell.
Chicago.
And you guys talked about genealogy as well?
I think so.
You mentioned it in passing. You were saying
I think
that you were
so.
looking at that. Because I remember, did genealogy, wasn't that behind you, or partly behind you doing the last Saint on Sugar Hill, or not?
No, it was behind Safe House, my place. Safe House.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Keith has so many plays as well. He's accomplished that, right? Just adding that to the mix.
Right, no, I saw that.
Brother gotta do what he gotta do.
He got to do what he got to do.
That's right.
Wait, but okay, my
That's
question
right.
is for
Yeah.
you then. How do people find you if they want you to do their genealogy? Which you still have to do mine one
Oh,
day.
yeah.
But
I
how do
gotta
people
ask
find
about
you?
mine too.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Is this something you want to do, or is this something on hold?
Or is it something like yours, like, please stop asking me? I don't know
Or
my answer.
you got to pay him.
you got
Yeah.
have to be paid because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
time consuming.
Yeah.
They can just reach out to me. They can just reach out to me at my personal email address.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you got to go through the new Black Fest.
Yeah, you got to go to
Yeah.
the Black.
We don't wanna put that
Come
out.
to the
We
new
don't
Black
wanna-
Fest
Yeah.
and ask me about genealogy,
Yeah, we don't want to put
and we
all
can
the
talk.
personals
Right.
on. You can get through me
Yeah.
through my show, through the Notice blog,
That
which
was
is the
it.
executive producer, or
Or-
come to the festival and he will tell you.
Yeah,
about
pull me to the side. We can talk about
And-
genealogy.
and then he'll quote his prices for you.
Right.
It's awesome.
Right.
Like, spikes.
Well,
Like,
okay,
Come to the show.
Right.
Then we can talk.
Yeah, you gotta do a little
So,
spike.
do
You got a
that,
little spike.
Okay, so we're
Yes.
on our way out. We're about to
Okay,
peace
yeah.
out. He's about to peace out a little bit. But before we go, one of the things that I'm setting up with the show is a segment of cherry picks. At the end, I like to ask you what your cherry pick is, which is anything that you feel people should go see or eat or go to the restaurant or go to a movie. It could be or go fly to another country or places that you've been. You like, but the cherry pick of the week would be for you what?
I would. What's at the top of my mind and heart is to go see Get Out.
Oh, if you have not seen Get Out.
Because too many of us are in the sunken place.
Yes, we do not want to be. You do not want to be in the second place. That's a good one. Okay. Jordan Peele, if you're watching this,
Jordan
we just
Peele.
plugged your show.
What?
Okay. Get
Yeah.
Out.
Get Out.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
And it's what it grossed $150 million.
Yes.
The first original screenplay to do so. Black Power.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Anyway, Keith, thank you so much for being my first. Does that? Okay. Anyway.
Well, hey, sometimes.
This is Cherry with Sundays with the Cherry on Top. This is Keith Josef Adkins, the artistic director of the new Black Fest, and he was my first. I hope you guys like it, and if you do, make sure you go to the blog and give me notes, and we'll have you for the second one, okay? Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.